Hello, my name is Nicole Coletto. This is my project on the interrelationships between 8 vulnerable populations. Okay, so over the last 2 weeks, we have learned about 8 groups of different vulnerable populations, which are listed here. The common theme that I continue to see in each of these groups of vulnerable populations is the lack of access to healthcare or barriers to healthcare, each for their own particular reason, which then leads to an increase of either an acute or chronic illness. Number 1, addiction. All of the other 7 vulnerable population groups are risk factors for a person to be addicted to drugs or alcohol, which can then lead to an increase in acute or chronic illness, depending on how long the drug abuse has gone on. Why the increased illness? A variety of health problems can exist with this population, and it is likely they are not accessing proper treatment to prevent illness. Number 2, homelessness. Being street homeless comes with a multitude of increased health problems such as hypothermia and addiction. Why the increased illness? The National Healthcare for the Homeless Council estimates that 70% of healthcare for the homeless clients do not have health insurance. Number 3, infectious diseases. It is a worldwide health concern which has increased with the growth of migration. Why the increased illness? One reason is out of fear of being without proper documentation and getting caught. Number 4, mental illness. An estimated 26% of homeless adults staying in shelters live with serious mental illness, and an estimated 46% live with severe mental illness and or substance abuse disorders. So why the increased illness? There is a level of stigma which is associated with having a mental illness, which may prevent them from seeking treatment. Number 5, poverty. Factors that predispose persons to poverty: decreased earnings and increased number of children born to single women. Why the increased illness? Inadequate insurance or no insurance coverage, which means there is a decrease in preventive services with an increase in illness. And then 6 and 7 group together, rural and migrant workers. These groups can be described as having fewer years of formal education, poorer, increased exposure to environmental toxins, etc. Why the increased illness? One reason for this group can be due to availability of services, living in an isolated area. And also, if there is only one provider and the patient does not like this provider, then likely they will not continue to seek treatment. And finally, violence. A community structure such as crowded conditions, lack of jobs, low-paying jobs, this can lead to violence. Why the increase of illness? Oftentimes, due to these living conditions, a person cannot afford the time away from work to be ill and seek treatment. And here is my reference page, and that is it. Thank you so much.